Howdy folks, Sapper here, aka Sean, and I'm bringing you It's Not Next War, World War III. I decided to do just a quick little video. I say quick, it'll probably end up being 10 or 15 minutes. But keep your fingers crossed, it might be less. But I decided to do a video on just things that I use as a wargamer to help make wargaming easier, make it better, just to enhance the experience, right? I've gotten a lot of questions. Most of my questions have been basically about the tokens that I use, and I'll get to those. But I just kind of wanted to do a catch-all video that just kind of, touches a little bit on just all of the different things I use. And maybe you'll find something, in here that's going to help out your wargaming or your gaming, because a lot of the stuff you can use, I've played a lot of, I started playing Euro games. I started playing war games years when I was in high school, and that was back in the late 80s, early 90s, and role-playing games too. And then I joined the Army and had a family and all that, so most of the gaming was put on hold. And then now years later, I'm retired from the Army. I'm no longer married. My kids are all adults, so things are a little bit different now, right? So I have I have a little bit more time. Well, with COVID, I have more time, but I have more disposable income and all that kind of stuff. So I've gravitated back towards wargaming more than the other stuff, but I still do the other things. But anyway, so let's just kind of cover. I've got stuff laid out on my table, just to kind of show you what to do. So this right here, this is a poster frame that you can get from Walmart. And what I'll try to do is, if I can, I'll try to post links to some stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to post a link to Walmart's website for this, but for like the tokens and some other stuff, I'll try to do that. But anyway, so this is a poster frame from Walmart. And I have two sides of the frame on here, right? You can see on the top and the right side, there's no black border. But just to kind of show you kind of what you're looking for. So, I'll pull the frames off. And you can see you have a thin sheet of plastic. So this isn't plexiglass, it's, plastic. And then a cardboard backing underneath that. And that's what I mount when I'm playing a game like I just got done playing the Next War series. I mounted the maps underneath that. And then what I do is I take some of these binder clips and I just clip that in there so that the plastic doesn't slide around. So basically, I guess there's two accessories here, right? You've got the poster frame, and this will allow you, let's say I wanted to move my game over a little bit. It allows me to move the map. You still got to be careful if there's a lot of chits on it, but it allows me to move my map and reposition it if I want to or if I need to. And then, of course, the binder clip is the second accessory, just to kind of keep the, so that's what I'm talking about. I bought a box of binder clips so that I can do that. So that is accessory number one. And the good thing about this, or plexi, so this is a cheap version. These I think ran me about $10 a piece. I have 4 of them, so I can do that with a pretty large game. But dry erase markers, which we'll get to dry erase markers, this allows you to write on your map too without actually writing on your map. So either plexi or this. I like this solution just because, number one, it's a lot cheaper, and with the backing on it, I can reposition my maps as I see fit. So that's what I do, plexi or this. That's number one. Then let's see here. I have various tweezers. So I used these for the longest time, and I still like them. All right, I got these off of Amazon. Hopefully I can find a link for these, but there was a light that went in here, and I took the light out because the light was kind of not necessary. But I like these. And then here's a set that I hardly ever use. This is an interesting set that I thought would be a little bit more functional than what it is, but you can see that the default position is closed, right? So let me get there we go. So what that allows you to do is, I guess, it allows you to hold whatever, you just kind of open them up and then grab what you want, and then they stay closed. So I guess if you needed to hold something for a long time, then these would be good. Probably somebody who paints miniatures, this might be a good thing to use, but I thought it would work a little bit better than it did, but I have them, right? So there's that particular set of tweezers. And then I was watching Gimpy, and he had these. He's got a link to these. He got these off of Amazon. These are about, I think he's got the foot long ones. These are 10 inches. So these are, I like these. And then you've got the straight ones as well. So I'll try to find my Amazon link. But these are the ones that I think these three are the ones that I use the most. But these are pretty nice. I think these are probably soon to be probably my favorite, or will be my favorite. And the straight ones are actually pretty nice too. And then, you can always use the straight ones to kind of point too. So tweezers, that's definitely a Wargamer thing. Here we go. We have various cups, right? Because war games, you're going to have lots of chits and things that you're going to need access to, and rather than scatter them all over the table and have them, and I still do that, right? I'll still have chits and everything spread all over the place, but this allows me to organize things a little bit better. And of course, if you want to color code stuff too, like if you have chits that are blue, you put them in the blue cup or whatever. But these little bowls, you can get these on Amazon. I bought these at Walmart years and years ago, and I haven't ever been able to find them since. But these I just recently bought off of Amazon, and I really like these too. These are really nice. So chit cups definitely are something that is nice to have. And then speaking of more chits, you've got these plastic organizers that you can get from GMT, I think is where I got these from. These are nice, organizer trays. So they definitely are something that's nice to have. So I think I used a bunch of these. These are World in Flames counters, but you're definitely, as a war gamer, this helps you organize your counters. And then the alternative to that is, let's see, the alternative to the counter tray are your plastic bags. All right, so I had to answer a phone call. So plastic bags definitely, or little Ziploc bags. You can get these at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever. I think I got these I want to say I got these at Michael's, and sometimes these are almost better than using your counter trays, because you can write on the bag, and that way, after you've dumped all your counters out, you can find, hey, where's the counter bag for my U.S. Navy chits or whatever. So definitely another storage solution. Counter tray takes up a lot of space in the box. If you have a really large game that has a lot of chits, for example, World in Flames, you'll never get all of these with all your chits back in the box. It's just not going to happen, which is pretty much the way my World in Flames stuff is, right? So I have all the World in Flames stuff in the box, then I have like 9 or 10 counter trays sitting on top. So if I use these, then, maybe I could get everything back in there. You never know. Let me see here. What else? So I've got this clipboard that I use for my sequence of play. Let me see if we can get that in the, there we go. So I use this clipboard for my sequence of play, and it is the neat thing about it is, again, I use one of these binder clips, and I just cut off, you've got your sprue that your chits come in, and I found one that had the red printing on it. And what I do is I'll just put the line whatever step I'm on, so that way if I have to step away from the game, or it's the end of the day, or I'm done playing for the day or whatever, when I come back to it, I just look on here. Oh, okay, I know I was on step 5.1 alpha, right? So that's what I really like about that. And if you get a clear clipboard and you have a double-sided player aid card, then all you got to do is simply flip it over, and it works good for at least for next war, because the sequence of play is basically just this double-sided player aid card, and it works out really well. I mean, this is when I play next war, this is how I use it, just like that. So, and then all you got to do is just pull this over and just flip it up to the other side. Oh, I'm on step 15. So, and that would probably work for most war games. If it's got a player aid card with a sequence of play, you could do it like that. All right, next. Okay, plastic trays to sort things into. So, you know, you definitely, if you're going to have a lot of tokens or chits or whatever, you're going to want these plastic trays. I think I got these at Walmart. I think you can get them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. But what is in here is probably the thing I get questioned on the most. And these are basically my arrow tokens, various colors, various shapes. You know, you can look down in there and you can see all kinds of stuff. The double arrow, my little missile tokens, little explosions, you know, you name it, whatever. Hexes. So these tokens, I think everything in here is from Litco, and I will definitely post a link for the Litco tokens, because that's what people ask me the most about. They're a little bit on the expensive side, but you know, they definitely make things much easier. The arrows help me remember things, and then also when I'm doing things on video, they help me to point things out. So I've got these neat little weather markers that I use to help me, you know, if you have a game that uses weather. Oh, there's one more. So I think it's a set of 5, and I bought 2 of them. So those are nice. You got storm or rain, clear, overcast, you know, whatever. Blizzard, tornado. I mean, tornado could be storm. So it's whatever you want it to be. Let me see what else. I've got just blank chits that I ordered these from GMT, and you can get them in the 5/8. So I got the 5/8, and then you can also get them in the 1-inch. So blank chits are always nice, because then you can make your own stuff, right? You can make your own chits. If the game doesn't have a chit that you need, you can always make your own. I got these fire ones. I think I've used these for MBT. You can probably use them for any kind of mini game, BattleTech, whatever. So those are kind of nice. So there you go, Litco tokens. And this thing, if you're going to end up like me, since I buy so many tokens from them, I bought this thing, and it basically, you know, like what color is, like you read on their website, it says, okay, you can get this token in trans yellow. What does trans yellow look like? And then I can look on this thing, and basically it says, hey, trans yellow. And then it's got the right thickness. So I think here's the, what is that? The 6mm 1/4 inch. So this was about 10 or 15 bucks, but it definitely, if you're going to, for me, I order quite a few tokens from Litco, so this definitely is something that helps out. It's got every color of plastic that they have, and you know, most of the tokens you can get, you can do the custom stuff and just get whatever you want, and that's why I bought that. So it definitely comes in handy. Moving along. All right, we've got just more little tokens. I got these little plastic cubes. You know, plastic cubes are always nice, because you can use them to basically represent anything. Let me see, we got some red. I got these off of Board Game Geek. So, and I like the translucent. Like most people like the translucent stuff, right? So I wanted the transparent cubes, and that was, Board Game Geek is the only place that I could actually find the transparent ones. So there you go. You got dice. You can always use dice. I have more than just 6-sided. I have all the polyhedral everything. So, and then I found these too. I've got these weather dice. So if you wanted to randomize weather, if you needed to, hey, what's the weather out? You can just roll that. I've got a pair of them. So you've got, you know, if you want to get random weather, or use these if you don't have, you know, a token to represent weather, you just set the die down on the map, and okay, hey, it's snowing. So I've also got these. I think I got these off of Board Game Geek. So these are prototyping dice. You basically pull these out, and then you can snap them into there, and you can like basically make whatever you want. So prototyping dice. Let's see what else. Oh, right here, look at that. We've got bags. You know, bags are always great if you need to do, you know, have a blind chit draw. You just throw your chits in there and draw them out. Crown Royal, of course, always make great bags. You know, there's a really big one, you know, if you need a really big bag. So just random draw bags if you want to do, if you need to draw chits out of something, or, you know, some people prefer the cup. You know, I can do blind draws out of this too. But bags are nice as well. So, you know, whatever you want. And then moving over here, more Litco tokens. These are these don't lay flat, so they sit down on the map, and like if you need to point at something or whatever. I've got this nice mushroom cloud that I used in my last game because it ended a nuclear war. So, you know, again, Litco stuff. There's more Litco tokens. You know, you got the Maltese cross, and you got a spade. I think I've got a diamond. There's a club, and so I've got the full suit of, you know, playing card icons. And there's all kinds of stuff on Litco that you can get, not just limited to that. So these cubes, these are the centimeter cubes. So I bought these before I bought the transparent ones because you can get these on Amazon really cheap. You can get like an entire container of these. So again, cubes are always nice. Extra pawns are always nice. I bought these off of Amazon, so you can just do a simple search for plastic pawns. Sticky notes, those are always nice. If you don't like writing in your stuff, I'll write my rule books. I really don't care. A lot of people are like, well, you know, it just reduces the value. You know, if I play a game enough to write things in the rules, then I probably like that game enough that I'm never going to get rid of it. So I don't mind writing in my rule books. I have pretty decent handwriting. So let's see, if you look right here in green. So I wrote that down, you know. So I have decent enough handwriting to where it's not terrible. Here we go. We've got the infamous counter clipper. You know, if you're a counter clipper, you know, I've clipped thousands of counters with this bad boy. I think it's the Oregon Laminations one. They have two different versions of it. They got the industrial version like this, and then they've got the other one that people call the snow shovel or whatever. So there's that. This guy right here, I bought this at I think it was Lowe's. Basically, this is a, let's see if we can, this is, you can see the level on here. I didn't buy it for the level, I could care less, but it's got a laser line on it, which if you have a game that has line of sight and you need to find if something's in line of sight, you can use that. So again, I bought this from Lowe's. I think it was $10 or $15. So I've used this in a couple of games. Now, most war games aren't going to have line of sight, but if you do have a game with line of sight in it, this thing is really nice, and it's small, doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's a lot cheaper than that. What's the one? The Wargame Crafter or some nonsense. So laser level, and it's the Ryobi one. You can find that at Lowe's. All right, let's see. Moving on. Post-its, more post-it stuff. So obviously I had this. These are nice because you can tab your rule books. I've done that for several games. You know, tabbing rule books is always nice. All right, what else? Moving right along, various writing utensils, Sharpies. All right, those always come in handy if you want to make your own counters. I think I made my own counter for the previous game. It was some metal. It was an air metal, and I used my Sharpies. Dry erase markers are awesome when you use the plexiglass, and then of course you're going to want an eraser. Now this is also a dry erase marker with it's got a little felt eraser on it. So I think these don't work anymore; they dried up. But the erasers are good enough that they get to live on in my collection. So dry erase markers are awesome. Fine point, and then we've got ultra fine. That ultra fine point's really nice. So definitely want some dry erase markers. Oops, hit my tripod. So let's see. moving right along. So for my last game, or for my next war game that I was playing, there are a lot of player aid cards in that game. Quite a few, as a matter of fact. So to make my life easier, and I finally just did this. I've been playing Next War for years. But what I finally did is I got just a small 1-inch 3-ring binder, some document protectors, and I put all my player aid cards in there. It makes it so much easier to go through all your player aid cards when they're organized like that. And there was one player aid card that was 2 of these, and it was a folded in the middle. I ended up cutting it in half just so I could get it in here. But if you got a game with a lot of player aid cards, hey, I would highly recommend doing this. Of course, if you don't want to, some people again don't like writing on their stuff. Me, I wrote in here on that. Again, I don't plan on selling the game, so no big deal. But if you're opposed to writing on your player aid cards or writing on your rules, you can always print them off and still put them in the 3-ring binder. So either way. But yeah, that 3-ring binder with the player aid cards is awesome. You got card-driven games or games with cards. Here's a card holder. It's kind of hard to see, but clear. That's for a small deck. This one's for a larger deck. Again, these are from Litco, so nice. Probably seen me use that a couple of times. So yep, the old dice tower is always a nice thing, and the good thing about that one is there's no bottom to it, so you can just pull it up and move your dice out of the way. So makes a little bit of noise, but hey, whatever. If you're not the dice tower kind of person, you always got the dice tray. This is a little quieter, so it helps. There's been plenty of times where I've rolled dice and hit a stack of chits, and you're like, oh no, where, what chit was where. So, and then we've got, let's say you need to make a decision, and you don't know what to do. You can always consult the old 8-ball. So, if you need to generate a random response, sometimes in a war game you might want to do that. Because especially if you're playing solo like me. I always know what I'm thinking, right? But if you want to randomize it, you can always use the magic 8-ball. Like, here's a really good question. Hey, Sean, how do you think people are going to like this video? Or do you think people are going to like this video? Let's see if we can read that. Come on. Ah, there we go. You may rely on it. So see, the 8-ball doesn't let you down. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you got something out of it. So anyway, keep on gaming, everybody.